back. I'm back online. How is everybody? How is everybody? I want us to have a chat this evening. I want us to have a chat this evening so that we can know ourselves better. Ufoma, are you there? Hello? Hello? I'm your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. Good evening, everybody.
Hello?
Good evening, everybody. How are you? If you are with me, let me know. Hello? Not picking. So I welcome you to this live chat. Yes, Ganaba Aremeyo Abbas. Good. Oh, Etisie Adeyinka Shoyinka. How are you? Good evening. So glad to see you. Dr. Mirella Apoki, my beautiful daughter-in-law. Good evening. Almasa Juwa Ogenesue Mavo. Well done. Please invite others to join. Sunday Ude. Good evening, sir. How are you? Where are you reaching me from? Tanzania. Watching from Helsinki, Finland. How is the weather there? That's good. I'm so glad to reach you all. Wekobiro Ogenesue, Wekobiro. Oh, from the US, God bless you. Sunday Udef City. How is our country doing? Press from the United States. Wonderful. I was talking about growing up in the ghetto and how observing my father. Rufistan from Netherlands. That's so great. How observing my father contributed towards forming my character. I've been to Ghana before. I've been to Accra. I stayed in the European hotel. From there, I went to Takoradi, to Legon and all that. Okay, some are there. Okay, that's good. Forel. So observing my father work very hard inculcated that spirit. So children are like sponges. They just soak what they see because they have mirror neurons in their prefrontal lobe. So prefrontal cortex. So you must provide a good model. Thank you so much, AO Logs. You must provide a good model for your children. It helped me. My father helped me. His hard work, his commitment to his family, commitment to training his children helped me a great deal. And I want to commend that you should try and do that. And one of the things I didn't have from him was the closeness to philosophize with him. The only time I discussed with him was when he told me I will be a medical doctor from primary 4, and I will be like Dr. Stevenson. That stayed in my mind. Just imagine only one statement my father made. So what kind of statements are you making to your children? Just one statement. Like my eldest son, I will take him into the theater. I will write professor on his palm. And when I wanted to discourage him from studying medicine, I could no longer discourage him. The minds of our children are like clay, and we are the potter. The kind of mold, when the Bible says, train up a child the way he will go, it means to shanan, it means to carve, it means to shapen, it means to sharpen. For those of you in the diaspora, I feel that one of the reasons why children easily drift into what is seen in the European and American public space is that fathers are not close enough to their children. Parents are not spending enough time with their children. When you spend enough time with them, like in those days in Africa, we went to farm with our parents. We came back with them. They told us stories of tortoise and pig and that and that. And those stories formed our psychology. Today, our children are more with Tom and Jerry, Nickelodeon, and all kinds of stuff, and with house helps and nannies. So it is good to spend time with your children. Very, very essential. That helped me a great deal. Then I cultivated entrepreneurial spirit very early. I can't know what triggered that, but maybe it's the poverty. Somebody was telling me today that if we didn't pass through some of the poverty we passed through while growing up, that we wouldn't have developed the resilience, we wouldn't have developed the entrepreneurial spirit that we developed. You see, having to go to school with the children of the elites, commissioners, all kinds of people, just not to be left totally behind, I had to do little odd things to be able to raise some money. Imagine using my school fees to buy fresh fish, then I would dry them and give to my mother to sell so that I could multiply the school fees. So that thing has been in my mind since childhood. So from what we are discussing, it looks as if Sigmund Freud was right in saying that the personality of an adult is formed to 75% degree in childhood. That is very true. And if we are certain cleaning solution, I am your friend. I know I am your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. So let's spend more time with our children. Let's not see them as being too young to philosophize with. Sometimes my granddaughter would tell my daughter, stop putting toothpaste from the beginning to the end. You don't listen to somebody. Daddy, she calls me daddy. Daddy said, when you want to put toothpaste, just press it from the ending, put some in the middle, and brush your teeth. So I have implanted something even in my granddaughter. So let's raise our children with a lot of intentionality. I discovered that the children of the elite in Europe and America are raised intentionally. Like as I shared in Oterero Lomu Ugelisad, Mavo. Well done. Thank you so much for listening to our Quest FM broadcast. So let's imprint things in the minds of our children. The distractions that our children go through in the modern era just weigh out. All kinds of talks, all kinds of pride parade, all kinds of musicians, all kinds of models. The parenting is very, very absent in many homes. Intentional parenting, very, very absent in many homes. And I think that we should do more of that in this dispensation. we do more of that in this dispensation. It will help us. I know that we need to do several jobs to meet up, but you will find out that the Asians spend more time together as families. The Asians, they spend more time together as families than we of African descent. And bearing in mind, somebody said that Africans were carried into slavery not as families. And then we got to the Americans not as families. We were separated into different farms and all that. And the resultant effect is that family structure was destroyed. And I think that we need to reconstitute the family value, family, eating together, sharing together, having family traditions being formed. My granddaughter arranges her shoes because right from my wife to the mother we have. So there we need to inculcate into people family traditions and cultures. If not, we will lose our children, lose them very fast, and many of them are lost. So please take this very seriously. We can make all the money. If we make all the money, if we don't take care, it is the children that have family values that will buy over our businesses. I was discussing with my friend that I went to visit. He bought buildings of people who were top Nigerians, while his father was a security guard like my father. While he was trekking, he bought, living in a mud house then, he bought over buildings of very wealthy people before us, before when we were younger. So let's train our children. Let's spend time with our children. Let's inculcate into our children values that are different from the present values that are being peddled by different movements. Some of these movements are just crazy. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any question, I will take. Anybody has any question? Ufoma, do you have any question? Dr. Mirella, do you have any question? Rafistan, do you have any question? My brother from Olomo, any question? I will take such questions. Today is a test run. I might be doing more of that, more of this subsequently. Yeah. Ufoma, any question? Sir, do you think, Mr. London boy for life, sir, do you think Africa will be great again? Yes, definitely. Definitely. If we have a long-term mentality, one of the problems that we in Africa we have is this rapture mentality. Rapture, the world is coming to an end. So we think short term. We think that we have a limited time for us to exist as the African species. I believe that Africa can be great again. From recent history, the Jews were discriminated against. Jews were discriminated against all over Europe, and even in the United States. After the World War, when they came to the United States, most of them were seamstresses and laborers. They had skills. Italians were not taken seriously. They were not even considered white. Chinese, it was my presence that the Chairman Mao, the Chinese were riding bicycles and wearing felt clothes. and people made fun of the slanting nature of their eyes. But the Japanese have rebuilt, have remodeled themselves. They are now recognized. I remember India. India was a laughing stock in the 70s. Anything, hunger, disease, poverty, India. I know the population of India. And we had Indians come to teach in Nigeria. I was taught by Indians, Mr. Gopinathan, Mr. Nath, and all kinds of people. But India has rebranded itself. So Africa, in 5-6 years, with good leadership, 5, 6, 10 years, with good leadership and all the resources we have, and the potentials and the intelligence we have, you will see that Africa can be great. If you take football in Europe, you take football in America, you take athletics, you take whatever, you will see Nigerians, Cameroonians, Congolese, Senegalese in the national teams of France, Belgium, Netherlands, the United States, the UK, even Germany. Africa will be great again if we have great leadership. And what recently took place in Kenya is just an indication of what will soon take place around Africa. I believe that Africa will be great again. For people like me, we are saying what we are saying because we have hope in this continent. Africa will be great again. Thank you, Mr. Awojobi, Lee Engineering. I grew up with him. I was their family, the father's doctor. Okay, so when did you realize that you have a gift from God that you can provide to the world? Number one, I didn't realize I had a gift initially. What I had was a sense of responsibility. A sense of responsibility from the secondary school I attended, Government College, Ughelli. I had a sense of responsibility that we are the leaders of tomorrow. And I saw people who finished from that school who were in leadership position in Nigeria. The secretary to the state government, military governor like David Ejo, medical doctors, and all kinds. Now, when I went for National Youth Service, and I saw the Golden Eaglets then, that was in 1985, I think they won the Kodak Trophy. When I saw Nigerian youths win the Kodak Trophy, the pride I had, I was in Owerri during youth service then, during the NYC camp at Owerri, Alvan Ikoku. When I saw young men win the Kodak World Cup, I told myself I must do something that will bring honor to my country. So there was this trigger from that. And then subsequently, that desire to make a meaning to society started propelling me to do some things. It was when I got born again, out of a sense of responsibility, I started serving God, just doing things because I still wanted to contribute to society. It was in the process of contributing to society that one pastor I used to give money came one day, said, God is going to anoint you and use you. I thought he needed money from me. And from there, I also saw one great man of God preaching on television. I made his hand like this. People fell under the anointing. I touched that hand. I said I wanted to be like him. From there, things started happening. So it was an initial prompting in my spirit from Government College, Ughelli. Then the stimulus of those young men that won the Kodak World Cup, that it was possible for a Nigerian young man to be able to make global impact. Then I got born again. Then that prophecy by that pastor and several other people Then I now had a global desire. It was from there. I only had the gift of the ability to speak because I debated for my university. I was a noisemaker and all that. So the ability to speak, and I had some degree of humor. It was later that these things started coalescing into becoming who we are today. Sir, going into land banking or going into other businesses, which one is preferable? One thing I learned about life is that life is not either or. You can do many things simultaneously if you prioritize, if you organize, if you properly allocate resources and sometimes delegate. So I do land banking, I run schools, I write books, I give lectures, I do so many things at the same time. You see, my friend Lee Engineering I sat with, he said he is the CEO of Lee Engineering Group. So, education, the kind of education we receive, wants to limit you to only one area, make you turn to a bolt that fits only one nut, and a big engine doesn't work like that. Somebody asked a question. Talk about spending time with family. How does one balance that with other responsibilities, especially as a new family where both parents worked? One of the things, the privileges I have had in life is that apart from practicing medicine for 2 years at the Royal Hospital, number 4, Pobo Road, I've really not worked for any person. And I had always insisted, even if I was going to work for somebody or I was going to set up my business, that my home should not be far from my business place. There was a time I used to tell people that if I will do a job away from my family that will pay me 10 million, and I have the one that will keep me close to my family that will pay me 5 million, I'll prefer the one of 5 million that will keep me close to my family. So you must try to also spend quality time with your children. Like Dr. Ofoma will bear me witness that taking them to school was my responsibility. Bringing them back from school was my responsibility. Having fun with them, we could just go and play football in a village, go and swim in a stream. Have quality time with your children, and make sure that you go to church with them, you carry them for the activities they need to go for, go and bring them back, spend time with them. Don't delegate that responsibility to others. So then there is a good thing that has happened in the world today. People working from home. And then if you look at the Asian nations, I've been talking to Africans that the Asians in the countries you live in, they start with setting up small family businesses that they gradually grow, and the whole family takes part in it. And then you find out that it becomes a family culture, and gradually they nurture the business, and the business becomes a big business. So let's try to establish businesses and services that our children can partake in. So that's one way. And then that time, that quality time. Ufoma, you remember, I will just call you, let's go and philosophize. And we'll walk into the sparkling factory, we'll just be discussing. So it is not necessarily the length of time, but the intentionality and the quality of time you spend with your children, and the bond you establish, and the knowledge you put into them of the significance of family. That's what I need to say. But when you just keep running after money and you leave the children, you eventually find out that you have labored labored for the wind. Okay. If there is no other question,
So there are questions.
questions there.
Yes.
Okay, tell me what questions.
One says, when is your next event coming up?
My next event is not this live one. The next major event, paid event is 2nd and 3rd of August, 7 p.m. Nigerian time. You will send in, Ufoma should be able to post Dr. Ufoma should be able to post the flyer here. But if you send a message to me on my WhatsApp, +234 70 5213, I will send you the flyer so that you can register. What must be done to unite? Okay, let me take another one. What is the solution to the current currency debasement in Nigeria? I don't know if the currency debasement is the abuse of spraying money in parties that has become a culture in Nigeria, and I think it's only a constitutional or statutory laws passed and enforced that can stop that. Somebody said, quickly, I'll take a few questions and I'll be done. How many African countries have you been to, sir? Okay, let me start from the left of Nigeria. I've been to Togo, I've been to Republic of Benin, I've been to Ghana, I've been to Sierra Leone, I've been to Liberia, I've been to Guinea, I go right, I've been to Cameroon, I've been to Ethiopia, I've been to South Sudan, I've been to Madagascar, I've been to, I don't know if I've mentioned Kenya, I've been to South Africa, maybe I've forgotten some. Okay. So, thank you so much. I would like to close. You can also send me messages. What must be done to unite the north, the south, and the eastern part of Nigeria again? I have given a recipe to the Nigerian situation. Go to the video. Something is brewing in Nigeria. We will need to first decentralize Nigeria before we can unite. As long as we're competing for the same public office, presidency, only one position, you will find out that we will constantly fight against each other. But once we make the attraction be in the regions, let's have 6 regional presidents who will come and form a presidential council. Let's not have national parties. Let's have only regional parties. Let's not have the Senate. Let's have this presidential council. Let's have a situation where the 6 presidential council members will rotate every 2 years, and then we will not have a Senate. They will stay for 12 years. You will find out that to a large extent, the nations, the different parts of the country will become more competitive, but more complementary instead of contesting against each other. Go and check my video on Something is Brewing in Nigeria. Thank you so much. God bless you. We will have another time like this. It's just a test run. We'll be doing more of this. God bless you all. Joseph, inshallah. God bless you. I'm your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki.